evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Triggered. I'm your host, Zachary Clark, and you all know my co-host, Adam Furman. How you doing, Adam?
I'm combating allergies pretty hard today.
How do you combat allergies?
Just by suffering and living through it.
Well, it's easy to live through it when you're coming to it live from a virology lab in the heart of the communist East. Because they can study
Wonderful.
human reactions to viruses and such.
Yeah, their laws are a little bit more flexible, I think.
I don't know how inflexible ours are, since the federal government is, in fact, funding research at a very infamous virology lab in Wuhan, China. Taxpayer dollars at work, folks.
Well, that's a conspiracy theory.
It was reported in the mainstream news, so hard to tell these days. Oh, speaking of things that are hard to tell, you should have seen what I saw on the scanner. Scanner radio. Third in Jersey. Person running around without clothing on, possibly in underwear. Because clothes are full of snakes. QPD en route.
Oh no.
That was only about 10 blocks from my old house, which did have a massive garter snake infestation.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to have had a bunch of snakes in their clothes.
It is the snake time of year, so I wouldn't be shocked if there was snakes coming out. So I don't know. This could legit be snakes. People in the comments here. That's so sad. He needs help, not laughed at. But I don't know. He probably does if he's covered in snakes. I need help too.
Yeah, I almost ran over one mowing the yard the other day.
Murderer. Attempted.
No. I let the little guy go. We ushered him into the rock wall.
Nice. Now you're gonna have snakes for days, living in the rock wall. They're like, this.
That's not my rock wall.
This is the sanctuary. Snakes.
I don't know.
Because that's how snakes talk.
Amazing, Zach.
Speaking of things that are amazing, fight season continues. We had at least 3 fights that made it into the scanner, including a bat fight.
Oh, nice.
5th chestnut to Lind. Juveniles fighting. Some have baseball bats. QPD in area. Chestnut to Lind is only a 1 block area. So it was this bat fight only occupied 1 city block, Adam. But that's not
too bad.
600 block of college. A person attempted to hit another person with a shovel. QPD in area. Shovel fights as well!
I guess that was a legit.
Shovel fights.
Yeah, or the one guy woke up.
Bat fights. What guy?
One guy woke up to run away. He didn't want to be buried alive.
Oh, well, that could be. Oh, This wasn't a fight. Are we out of fights? Yeah.
Well, it's,
Out of
there's
fights.
bound to be more. It's warming up.
There were some knife fights, even, and as we've learned this month while we were on hiatus, that teenage knife fights are just part of growing up. So, I didn't include that one because it's not even news.
Yeah, just beat it. Beat it.
No one wants to beat it. Beat it.
Beat it.
So, that's right. It doesn't matter. Just beat it! Just beat it. Anyway, in other news, on the west side of Shelbina Lake, there was a boat on fire. The fire department's in... Ooh, wait, we got an update. Wait, I see what happened here. A camper was trying to start a fire using gas.
Oh, no.
Accidentally set his tent on fire and threw it into the lake. No boat fires. Now there's just a report of a gas can burning. Word to the wise, kids. Don't play with gas.
No.
I'm just having a lot of trouble getting this fire started. Oh no! Wait,
No.
there's water nearby. I'll throw my tent into the lake. Oh, sad.
Oh, no, not good. In high school, went over to a bonfire and I brought some paint thinner to use as accelerant on the thing. And, to use it safely. But no, my buddy didn't do it how I was going to do it and kind of safely ignite it from far away. No, he decided to place it on the already lit fire. And the can exploded a purple flame, a purple cone flame, and then he couldn't hear for for a day. Don't do that.
Don't play with fire, kids. It's very dangerous.
No.
Much danger. Very danger. And finally, you may have remember from a while back that there was reports of people's dogs going stolen or missing. We got this report.
Yeah, dog fights.
Collar. Maybe, I don't know.
Cute dog.
The Quincy dog fighting ring was snatching dogs, maybe. Caller following another vehicle saying they stole their dog. Adams County intercepting in Lakeshore Hills. Someone caught the thieves in the act this time, chased them down. You've got these people in the comments, too. If that happened to one of my babies, they better hope the cops get them before I do. Hey,
Is that what they said?
that's what they said.
Oh, with that inflection too.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just, improvising here, man.
Yeah.
Follow my ear. If it were my dog, they would be broadsided and in a ditch, says Wayne. Oh, Pamela here says, I am looking for the dog fighting ring, period, quadruple exclamation points. Yes, there is a ring of dog thieves. Don't let your dogs out without you. They need to come down my block while I left my dogs out. I tell you what, I could do with at least one fewer dogs around here. Oh no, they got snatched by the dog fighting ring.
Yeah. Didn't they lock you out of your house once?
Yeah, more than once. It's a rule to keep my keys in my pocket when I go outside so it doesn't happen. But that night, I gravely erred. But you rescued me, sir. So that was a recap on the scanner. Very interesting stuff happening. But not as interesting as SpaceX landing the Starship. Dun, 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 dun. This rocket ship flew into the sky. When it got to its altitude, it started free falling, and it turned onto its side, and then it fell until it got to the appropriate height, and then it kicked on its hinges, vertical, landed on its tail. And I'm like, already that's very impressive. You have a rocket ship that landed itself. This is like some Duck Dodgers
Yes.
situation. More impressive, it flew 10 kilometers into the sky for this test flight. And it is 15 stories tall. That rocket ship? That rocket ship right there on the screen there? 150 feet high. Flew 10 kilometers into the sky. Landed. Firing its rocket engines upright. That baby's going to Mars in like 10 years.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool.
I like there's a bunch of naysayers and stuff at the bottom here. Like, is that supposed to take people to Mars? That thing? This is the kind of person that definitely wouldn't have made it in a transatlantic voyage in the 13th century. Or
The 16th century?
they're in the whole of
Many of
of a galleon crossing the Atlantic, and the water's going out, and they're like, "Ugh, this isn't as spacious as my imagined transatlantic galleon might have been." There's people dying of cholera on deck. Oh. How can people even transit the Atlantic in such vessels? If I can't have room to spread my legs and enjoy a 3-course meal to break my fast, then I don't want to travel to new worlds. Prime example of how soft we've become as a race. Human beings, they ain't what they used to be, my friend. My friend, they ain't what they used to be. It used to be that you would risk all perils for the adventure. To explore, find something new, start a new life, build something in a new place. Now you naysay the ability for the Howard Hughes of our day to take people to Mars in a 150-foot tall aluminum can. Sad. It's just sad if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. This is SpaceX has come a long way in a very, very short amount of time, and everyone's like, "Lame! Think of all the billions of dollars that you could spend on textbooks for children or something stupid like that." I don't know.
Well,
It's like,
I think textbooks for children
hey,
is a noble goal.
This is pretty cool.
What was that thing you say? Why don't you cure cancer or whatever? I don't want to cure
Yeah,
cancer.
it's a panel from like.
I want to turn people into dinosaurs. What was that from?
Exactly. I think it was a panel from a Spider-Man comic.
Oh.
But I'm not sure if it's real or if it's been memed. It's probably real.
Well, that's Elon. He doesn't want to weave malaria nets for poor children in Africa. He wants to send them to Mars.
Hey kids, let's get out of this malaria-infested place. All right, where are we going? To Mars. Wait, what?
Hey, there are no
You have no
mosquitoes
choice.
on Mars, friend. Frankly, I think it's a better
That's
deal.
true.
Die of malaria.
It might be.
Take a risk. Go to Mars. See what the red planet holds for you.
Oh, definitely.
But SpaceX is moving forward, but South Carolinians might just be moving backwards because they just can't find those execution drugs that they wanted. So they've decided to bring back the firing squad. And I'm with Oilfield Rando here. Beast! I always said that. It's like, okay, whatever, and I'll make them public again, please. Good God. Can't just be shooting guys in a basement someplace.
Yeah, you need it public.
Absolutely. You have to let people see what we're doing to execute he's. It's not good to keep it secret. But yeah, this has been a thing, and I don't know the issue. Because I wouldn't imagine that it would be very hard to manufacture killing guy drugs. Sodium pentothal and whatever else.
Yeah, I don't know.
I imagine you could probably have a state lab someplace mix you up some stuff instead of trying to. You're not killing that many people either. I don't understand.
No.
But lead's cheap-ish. Ammo is like outrageous right now. You can still get a box at 22, I guess, for 10 cents a round, but I don't know. Some of the people down here. Are they going to raise taxes for the budget for ammunition?
Desert Eagle ammo.
I remember back in the day. I don't know.
Can you request your gun?
I don't know if this is true, but it used to be, as I understand it, that you would have skilled marksmen would be the ones who you would need, and they had to have such and such proficiency and accuracy at shooting, within a very tight space. And then you have like 6, 7 guys or whatever, and one of them would have blanks. So, but you didn't know who, because it was randomized, so no one knew. They could always have the possibility that they weren't the one that killed the guy, to spare the conscience of the executioner or something like this. Sounded made up.
That's what I heard. Is that they would all have blanks except for 1 or 2.
I don't know. I think if I was getting executed, I'd want to make sure that as many guys didn't have blanks as possible. Like, I want this to be very quickly taken care of, guys. I'd be like King Charles, the end of Cromwell.
When I put my hands out, that is the signal.
But this Oilfield Rando guy, he's pretty cool. He runs this website called randoland.us, and among the current things he's doing is he's created a searchable database of all of the higher educational institutions that have received COVID relief funding and the amounts that they've received. So, for example, you can go on here, Randoland. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. I wonder, these universities have literally hundreds of millions of dollars sitting in endowments, waiting for, like emergency situations or whatever. Surely, they wouldn't be taking the needed relief funds from small businesses.
From hardworking American families.
Yeah, well, I guess you'd be wrong on that note, because they absolutely did. And if we want to look at the 50 biggest payouts, Arizona State University, Ace State University. Oh, it doesn't have the amount. No, here's it at the bottom. Temple University. Well, 400, almost $400 million to Arizona State University in COVID relief. $400 million
Oh my gosh, that's outrageous.
to a university. How about this? Let's look at the 50 richest colleges. Why not? Let's see how they got. Harvard University got like 25, no, almost $50 million in COVID relief. University of Texas at Austin? Oh, Lord save us. Over $150 million. Second wealthiest recipient of COVID relief funds in higher university or higher education. Simply outrageous. Interesting to read through, and you could even go here and be like, oh, well, let's look. Illinois. Hey, that's where I live. Oh, institutions. Ew. Oh, let's look. Well, I went to this here school. Blackburn received almost $5 million in coronavirus relief. Well, let's look at our old.
Remember that next time they call you to solicit donations.
Yeah, when they call me, I'll be like, hey, when you give back the $4.7 million you got from the government, you can come talk to me again. How about this one?
What are the
Northern Illinois University, the old
there you go.
law school alma mater. Let's take a gander. $80 million.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. $80 million of COVID relief to Northern Illinois University. Oof, friends. That's an oof. No one's talking about this, but this random oil-filled guy on Twitter. But it's pretty insane. He also went through, and there is a new act, a bill, if you will, in the Congress, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And he's read through this monstrosity and was breaking down some of the stuff. One of the things was that there was a civil action related to racist policing, but the proof of it is disparate impact in the arrestees or the whatever. So if you can show
you cut out, what was the proof?
Disparate impact. Disparate impact. Yeah.
Okay.
So you just have to show, like statistically, without causation, that more of X group was impacted than Y group. And that proves, for purposes of liability, discrimination. Oh, I wish it were so easy. I don't even know what that means. I haven't got into it too much, but I saw this and I was wondering, and I'm like, I don't know. Disparate impact standards are always a little bit suspect in my book in the first place. Because what is the baseline in the first place? So what are we talking about? If we're talking about like community representation, right? I don't know. What community? Where are we taking it from? What is the sample for whatever measurable?
I don't know.
Thing. So like, if you go to a precinct in like Southside Chicago where it's like 80% Black and Hispanic folks, and you take their arrest records, do you go by the demographics of that community? Or would you go by, like, I don't know, citywide or statewide or countrywide stuff? How would you measure that? I would think that community based, but then I don't know what boundaries you draw. So would it just be in the jurisdictional area? Would you do a geographic, it's like racial geographic gerrymandering now
No,
to try to discover
no, you're thinking.
what
You're thinking way
composite
too
racial
ahead.
groups.
You're thinking ahead.
Yeah. I don't understand how you'd figure that out even in the first
It's
place.
no, you would just do the rough numbers and then be like, the percentage is greater for X subgroup than Y subgroup, therefore.
But that doesn't mean anything
Take
outside of
overall
the
arrests.
context of the makeup of the community. You had 10 arrests.
Oh,
and
you're saying like
five,
against our.
five for black guys and 5 for white guys.
See, you have like racial quotas and arrests.
I don't know. You have to let the minorities go if you start getting too many or whatever. I guess I have to go find
Arrest more of,
some
arrest more of
majority.
2 or 3 racial subgroups
I don't know. And
to
that's
make
the
the
other
numbers
thing.
work for one.
How do you measure in a multiracial environment or a mixed race environment? How then do you classify the suspects or the people that are subject to these initiatives? Is there like 10 categories, and then it's like, okay, well, do you measure the people of African and European descent in a separate category?
According to current standards, no. They're both white.
The No, it depends. I say it depends because the Barack Obama is still considered black as far as I know, and his
Yeah, but
mom is from Kansas and
why
is a
wouldn't
white
he be
lady.
considered black?
His mom was a white lady from Kansas.
Oh, I don't know. But you meant like you said Eastern, or you said European descent or North African descent.
No, European mixed with African. So your mom and dad are one is
Oh.
from like sub-Saharan Africa, and one is from Scandinavia.
I don't know if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
So the
People who really care about race and ethnicity are you're gonna get some weird answers from them.
I mean, I don't know. I feel that it's not a very tough answer if you go basic, race math from the 19th century, which is what I thought we were doing. But like in
Half white,
reverse.
half black.
Yeah, you have one drop of blood in you of the other race. That makes you basically all that race.
Maybe.
So under this, you would also be all of the other one. You would have.
Yes.
What if you had like 3 or more of the main racial categories?
It's like the two natures of yourself, where you're 100% European and 100% African.
I don't know, because that seems to be true depending on the context. So they say that a lot of people, you know, there's the weird colorism thing, and there's the weird,
Correct.
the weird white supremacist stuff, where you've got people that are like, for all intents and purposes, they're just a white guy or whatever, but it's like, nah, his great grandma was a slave on a plantation. And you're like, oh, well, I guess. Yeah, one drop, man, he's all black. And then, like, you got these other guys. And it's like, he hasn't suffered like we've suffered. He doesn't look as black as us, so he doesn't get as much oppression. And he's not really black.
Yeah, like I said.
And his parents live in the suburbs.
You talk to people who really care about...
And he went to a private school.
Talking about people who really care about race and ethnicity, and you're going to get some weird answers. Where it's just like, oh, yeah, it's just Doug.
Oh, it's weird stuff. I don't think our stream's been working very well. I think my internet connection's been shorting out. But that's alright. I will upload.
Oh, absolutely.
I will upload the recording.
I'm losing connection every now and then. I can barely hear you sometimes.
Oh, yeah. It keeps on dropping. It's in green right now. Yellow. Greenish. Very green. I restarted the internet and everything, so I don't know. This is just the world we live in now, folks. Don't you worry your pretty heads about it.
This is not sponsored by Xfinity.
Sponsored by Adams Fiber. Providing you high-speed fiber optic broadband that tanks to zero in the middle of your stream. Oh, but you know what doesn't take to zero? How good I'm feeling right now. 'Cause I just had myself some high meat. For those of you who don't know, high meat is a trend that's taking the internet by storm.
Sweeping the nation.
Fred convinced me to eat raw, rotten meat. High meat. Yesterday. And it actually felt great. Very interesting. Since everyone would think it's crazy. Did you get sick? Not at all. This is how it looked, by the way. Cut me off a piece of that high meat, guys. Oh,
so disgusting.
Yeah, people have been leaving raw meat out to rot and ferment, and then they're eating it, and they say that it gets them high. A Newsweek article was talking about it.
They're probably like dying.
It's the botulism toxins really affecting my brain. People,
they've got worms or something.
It's like that episode of Futurama. They're just like riddling their bodies. Be like, oh man, that meat made me feel real intense, man. But people are eating rotten raw meat to get high in a dangerous online trend. This is just the man trying to stop you from eating raw, rotten meat, guys. Don't believe him.
I don't know, man. What if it's what if it's Newsweek and I'm going like, hey, yo, I bet we could get some dumb teenagers to start eating raw, rotten meat. Let's just put it out there. Hey, don't be doing this.
Yeah. They're like, oh man, these guys are so square. They don't want you eating rotten raw meat, my man. They just don't want you to know how good it is. Some
so
reportedly eat high meat for its alleged mind-altering effects. Others actually say they prefer the taste of the rotten flesh. Which IFL Science says is often described as cheesy and more acidic than your average steak. I love this
Oh man.
Cheesy acidic meat.
Almost. Oh my gosh! Almost snorted that whiskey through my nose.
Oh, kids, don't eat rotten raw meat. Unless you want to really stick it to the man, I guess.
No one's gonna tell me what to do.
That's right. You said I can't eat raw meat. Well, I just saw a dead possum on the side of the road.
Dipping it He's dipping it into a Tide Pod as he's eating it.
Oh, I had to brush all the blowfly maggots off of it before I can eat it.
Oh. A little lobster tail.
Oh, gross.
No. Kids, just lead a normal life. There's no shame in that.
Kids, why don't you go to Disneyland or something that's not effed up? Oh.
Do you want to know why I want to eat this high meat?
No, man, I don't want to know. Speaking of things that are dank, Count Dankula himself was running for Parliament in Scotland. You may remember Count Dankula. He was the guy who got arrested and fined for hate speech when he trained his pug to do the Nazi salute. He made a comedy video about this pug being a fascist brown shirt marching through the streets. And he got fined by the state. And he's running for parliament. It didn't go good. I think he got, I mean, pretty good, but not like winning or anything. He got 0.7% of the vote, which was
That's not bad for a
one
party.
1/10% higher than the Communist Party,
Ooh.
and it's brand new. So that's how they feel about communists where he's from. No bueno. However, the Labor Party did just fine, so whatever. Same thing. Communists in different clothes, if you ask me. Blah, 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 blah. But he made a prediction about how the election would go, and I really enjoyed it. I believe you shared.
Really?
Yeah, I believe you shared this with me. It turns out that he thought that Conservative Labour and the Scottish National Party would do very poorly compared to the real winner. It's Jeb! Jeb's won it all! He got all the votes. I really love the Jeb memes. Keep them coming, folks, for the rest of my life.
It doesn't even make sense. He wasn't even running.
What? Are you serious? I thought that this was you just ruined it for me. I thought he was really running.
They even did the Jeb meme with the the 4 a.m. votes or the 2 a.m. votes for Biden, and how the graph was all messed up.
Yeah.
And then they had Jeb just come out of nowhere.
If only it were so. There was other riffs on this, which I thought were good. It was Conservative 0, Labor 0, National Party 0, 100% unending despair in the land of Great Britain.
That went dark.
Yeah, Peter Hitchens. He's very sad. Please clap. I would have clapped for Jeb. Jeb wins 2016. Biden is not elected president in 2020. You heard it here, folks, first. Jeb would have saved us from Joe Biden's ruinous administration. Comment below. If you could go back in time, you would be a strong Jeb supporter in 2016. See what time we got. Alright. 9:49. Keep it rolling along. You may have heard this story. There was not just in this country, but in many a country, they had COVID relief funds dispersed, like cities, states, municipalities, whatever. One Japanese town was able to receive those COVID relief funds and use them for a very noble purpose. And that was to build a giant statue of a squid.
Oh, yeah.
They spent
there you go.
$230,000 in COVID-19 relief money constructing this to be a tourist attraction.
Yeah. Let's go down to the bay and take a picture next to the giant squid.
Not just next to it. I believe you can actually get inside of it. It has a gate. It has a gaping hole in its underbelly area.
Ooh, even more intimate.
It's like you could pretend you're being birthed by this giant squid.
Oh, yeah.
You're like
throw
coming
up
out.
like some fabric or whatever. Yeah, like a Jim Carrey with the rhino.
Yeah, put some sort of membrane over it, and then like press yourself out of it, like a horror film.
Oh my gosh, I could spend all day doing that. Other tourists are.
Like you're getting sucked back in.
Yeah.
Well, one person took offense to this report. Sigh.
Someone on the internet was offended?
Yeah, someone had beef. False reporting, guys. This is BS. The town got COVID relief and used their own money for the statue. The relief money stayed directed toward COVID. They just used their own money for the statue now that they didn't need their own money for COVID. Lamers. Totally legitimate use of municipal funds for a city that received COVID relief to build a giant squid statue. And we talked about this, and it's clearly that a lot of people just don't understand how money works.
Yeah.
I am a drug addict, let's say.
Okay.
Let's say I'm a drug addict. And I also need to eat food to survive.
Yes.
Drugs cost $5, and food costs $5.
Okay.
So I need $10.
Mm-hmm.
But I only have 5. And you say, okay. I feel bad for you, poor guy. You can barely buy food. So I'm going to give you $5 for food only. Only food.
Sweet deal. Sweet.
So I take
my food budget is fulfilled.
your $5 and I take that money. And my $5 that I have that I was going to buy food with, I can now use your $5 for it. And then I take the $5 that I had and I buy my drugs.
And use it for tomorrow's food. Wait, what?
No. I buy drugs.
You're supposed to use it for tomorrow's food.
It's just as good if you just give me the money for the drugs.
Don't do that.
If you'd said, here, guy, I know you love drugs. Here's some drug money for you. He didn't use that exact same $5 bill to buy food. So it's fine. I get this with some of these idiots randomly, just like popping up like, oh, it's a... And abortionists. Abortionists don't seem to understand this either. It's like, okay, no. Adam. Taxpayer money doesn't go to Planned Parenthood for abortions. Oh no, Adam. But they just help them pay for other things like rent or birth control for poor people and other sorts of medical procedures and health care. And very smart. My argument is rock solid and nothing can penetrate the armor of its reasoning. Wait a minute. So you're saying that Planned Parenthood has money that they were using for the stuff? Yeah. And then you gave them money that they could use for that stuff instead. Of course, it helped with the health care. So then they could take the money that they were spending on that and then perform abortions with it. Well, yeah, but it's not the tax money that's doing it. Check and mate, Luther.
Yeah. Dishonest.
This has got me there. It's not the exact same $1 that went to their whatever. But this comes on the heels of I just learned the other day that apparently abortion is not a sin.
Oh no.
Catholics for Choice telling me straight up, and Catholics, they're the real pro-life guys, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Catholics for Choice say it's okay to get an abortion because you want an abortion, Adam. Not a sin. Not just not a sin to not prohibit it under your laws, like we had discussed at the end of March.
Yeah.
But to actually...
We talked about that with the Orthodox.
Yeah. Actually, to elect the procedure and to perform the procedure, they are openly saying that that's not a sin.
Ian, Zachary, I am very skeptical of when someone says technically blank is not a sin. Like you, I was raised Protestant, and I would assume that your upbringing was similar to mine in that you were instructed or told that it's fairly hard to avoid sinning during any given hour. It was going to happen. So when someone's like, well, technically that isn't a sin, I'm like, get behind me, Satan.
It's not even technically. They're just saying it's not. Straight up. It's like having a mole removed, man. It's just a clump of cells. Bro.
Yeah, maybe if we're using, I don't know, the 12th century understanding of stuff, and I don't even know, because every time we do research on the understanding of the human anatomy, you find out that, surprise, surprise, humans knew more about humanity before, modern times.
In the before time. Do you know what a tower on Twitter is?
Doggerland.
100%. Do you know what a tower is?
What?
A tower. Do you know what a tower is on Twitter?
I'm not familiar with that term.
A tower is a thing where you post one letter in some word.
I know what it is.
and then the other people that reply to it then post the other letters in the word. And one person replied to the Catholics for Choice with not just a one-letter E, but with an E made out of E's in a giant E. And then the next person replied with an X. And then a C. O. Excommunicate. And I was on board because, you can't really have Catholics going around saying that murdering babies in the womb isn't a sin. That seems to be anathema.
Yeah, especially considering the history of Catholics in the pro-life movement.
Yeah, 100%. It's weird. Very strange to me. And I don't understand the rationale. I don't know how it couldn't be a sin. But, whatever. Like I said, I guess you have to get into something into the metaphysics of when life begins, and I don't know. Whatever. Hey, get this. The new president and the first lady were visiting the 5 times ago president and first lady.
Yeah.
Rosalind and
Yes,
Jimmy Carter got a visit from Joe Biden and Dr. Jill herself. And they looked like doll figurines in this photograph that was taken. And it's so bizarre.
It is very strange.
It's
what is reality?
I think that it's distorted by the way the photo is taken, and then the perspective was flattened out, and because
Joe's obviously in front.
Yes, but you can see, look at Jimmy's feet even, like they are large and projected outward, and so it's like the edges were expanded somehow. Like that chair that's next to Joe's leg compared to the Rosalind, armchair that she's sitting in. Very strange, though. And it really got They keep on releasing these, bizarre photographs like this, and it just sets the conspiracy Twitter on fire, and they're like, it's doctored! There's a doctored photo of CGI Joe Biden meeting with the Carters. He's still, imprisoned in a basement someplace.
Yeah. It doesn't do well with the conspiracy theories, I'll tell you that.
Well, I decided to hit him with the old distort bot. Yeah. Rosalind looks like a monkey. And you've got Joe's giant teeth sitting up here, lurking like the Cheshire cat in the corner.
Who's the comedian with the puppets? The comedian ventriloquist, Jeff Dunham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw there's a couple of them with him superimposed in there in the back.
Oh, there was one of them I saw. It looked like someone said it looks like Joe Biden has a Rosalind Carter ventriloquist dummy. So it looks like
I don't know what would possess you to take that photograph, and then after you took it,
look at it and say, you know what we're gonna do?
Say, this is good.
We're gonna put this on the internet. It's the best one. Adam,
Yeah.
it was the best one they took.
Took like 50 of them. I know.
They had photo shoots all day. That was by far the best picture that they took.
Yeah, everyone's got. I don't know.
Well, they need to fire their photographer. That's all I know.
It was Q.
Q himself has infiltrated the White House press corps. Oh, but that just reminds me of this ice cold fact of the week. Life is the most difficult exam. Many people fail because they try to copy others, not realizing that everyone has a different question on the paper. Ice cold fact. Coming to you straight from Ice-T to round out the show as usual. Gotta run your own race, Adam.
Yes.
Life
My knees could work.
life is a solo event, man, and you gotta
You're all alone.
throw that shot put as far
There's
as you
no help.
can or something. I don't know. I don't know how this works. I lost the thread. Anyway, guys, that's our show for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Back from our hiatus for the month of April. Had some good stuff for you. If you liked the show, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Share it with all of your friends. You can follow us on Twitter. Twitter handles are located below the picture. Adam, do you have anything you want to add here at the end of the show?
I do not. Not today.
Not
No,
today.
thank you. No. Not tonight.
Not tonight. Well, folks, that's our show. I'm going to go finish up this delicious glass of Johnny Walker Black that I was gifted by a very, very gentlemanly gentleman. And we'll see you next week on True